Hello, and welcome back to Misty Island. In the last episode, we got to follow Audrey from her perspective of things happening, and eventually, after waiting for Krudius at the Whittain household, she lost patience and ran into the clearing where she had heard a huge rumbling noise, and she was followed also by Eugene and James, who tried to stop her, but it was too late. She ran into her grandmother, Agreth, and Krudius and Roger has since then returned also to this household and found Norma and Eugene in a peculiar situation. Eugene has apparently broken off their marriage out of nowhere and is also not acting himself. He's in a terrible mood. So they know that something has happened, and Krudius is sort of kicking himself at this point because he feels as though it's partially his fault because he left these families alone to fend for themselves while he was selfishly trying to leave the island, leave them all behind and not look back. So yeah, things seem to have happened, and of course he is very, very anxious to reunite with Audrey and is wondering where she is. So he's really, really hoping that he will find her with the Warthorns. So that is where Krudius and Roger have traveled now, to the Warthorn household to meet up with Caroline and James, who may know more about the situation and might be able to fill them in. So we have them here at the lot, and Krudius and Roger are gonna head inside. And the atmosphere in here is pretty much the same as it was in the Whittain household, actually. And similarly to that household, they can see through this door opening that we have James sitting alone in the couch with a very, very sour expression. And coming up to this opening as well, Krudius can see that Caroline is alone in the kitchen, furiously cleaning all the appliances here. So something has apparently happened here as well. Something that they are not sure what, but of course they're gonna investigate. So they're gonna head first in here to see what they can glean from James. So Roger is gonna walk up to James and question, what happened. But similarly to Eugene, he is not acting himself at all, and his temper quickly switches to anger as well as soon as they start to talk. And he's not forthcoming about what he's doing, what's been going on, or what happened in the clearing, where Audrey is, or anything. He's just flipping the conversation around, accusing them of things, and they notice at once that, whatever has happened to Eugene, the same thing appears to have happened to James. So, well, they're gonna do this again. They're gonna try to talk to Caroline instead and see what happens then. And of course, she's just furiously cleaning these counters and everything. Of course, they need cleaning. They are super grimy and dusty after not being used for 3 years. But she's really taking out her anger on it. They can see that as soon as they come in. So Krudius is actually gonna talk to her instead, see what she has to say. So Krudius asks Caroline what's been going on here. We heard from Norma that things are strange over at the Whittains. And Caroline tells them that, things are not good. Of course not. She's not sure what has happened, but James has completely lost his mind. And she has no doubt about whose fault it is. She's had a moment to think since she returned to the house, and after James broke off their marriage as well. The same thing has happened here. And she's completely sure now that, this is another curse. At first, when it all happened, when she followed, she didn't see much. She just sort of found James and Eugene in the clearing and things went downhill from there. And of course, she just reacted to all of the things that her husband did and said after that point. But now that she's actually had some time here to calm down a little bit, she realizes also that this is not normal. And of course, they've all been cursed recently. There's only one person who could do something like this. And well, both Krudius and Roger agree with her as well that, yeah, this definitely does sound like another curse. And of course, Krudius hurries to ask also about Audrey, what happened to her. And Caroline says that never saw her. I know that she was supposed to be somewhere, they were following her, I think, but she wasn't there. And Krudius is like, what do you mean she wasn't there? They were running after her, weren't they? And she says that she just doesn't know. There was no sign of the little girl in the clearing when she arrived. And if they were following her, it could be that she ran off again. And Roger very solemnly says that, or maybe her grandmother took her again. And of course, Krudius is devastated at this. The one person that he was thinking a lot about when he decided to stay on the island is in grave danger. So, he's feeling nauseous at this point. He's gonna head out again into the clear air. Krudius is really distraught at this point. He has had feelings of regret and a really bad conscience since he returned from the docks. But now it's really taken a nosedive. So Roger is gonna walk up to him and talk to him. And Krudius is sort of venting all of these things that he's thinking to himself. And how could I do this? This is all my fault. And Roger basically says that, well, it's done. We can't change what has been done now. We can just try to fix this. Do you think that you can break these curses that has been cast now on these people? And Krudius confesses that, that's not in the scope of neutral magic. This is a really dark curse cast, and it's got to do with love. That's for good mages, not neutral ones. I'm sorry, but the damage that's been done to these marriages, I can't repair it. And Roger says that, well, we're in big trouble then. I'm not sure how we're gonna manage this. And Krudius says that, well, only a light witch or warlock could fix this. And of course, we have Iveria Sage Light, but she's still missing. And that's news to Roger. He wasn't aware that Iveria, well, first of all, that was her name, and also that she was a witch was not something he knew. So he's immediately fired up, like, okay, but then we know what to do. We need to find Iveria, and she's gonna have to fix this. But Krudius is impatiently telling him that all of that can wait. We need to first find Audrey. I mean, if she's with her grandmother, I guess we have to storm the castle or something. And Roger says that, that might be difficult. You have told me already you're not strong enough to take on Aegirth alone. How are you gonna do that? And I don't have magic. I can't really help you with casting spells and whatever needs to be done. And well, Krudius is like, what else are we supposed to do? We can't just leave her there with her grandmother. And Roger tells him that, well, are you sure that that's where she is? Don't you have any other place where she could have gone to stay safe? I mean, what if she escaped? She might not be with her grandmother. And that makes Krudius realize that he's right. That might actually be the case. She might actually be hiding somewhere if she was able to run away. And thinking about that, Krudius knows the one place where she would have felt safe, where she would have hid, and where she's hid in the past. And he tells Roger that the Crestgloom house. I'm going to the Crestgloom house. So Krudius is gonna take out his broom, mount up, and Roger is calling after him. I guess I'll catch up with you at the Crestgloom house then. Krudius is arriving at the house alone. Roger will have to come after. And of course, he's going to frantically run into the house to see if Audrey is here. He's calling out her name. He's running to all the different rooms here to take a look if he can find her. So far, nothing. He's gonna keep running from room to room, calling out her name as he goes. No one here yet, so he's gonna run up to her bedroom and see if she's hiding up there. But no sign of her yet. He's gonna continue into the parents' bedroom. Nothing there. He's gonna check the nursery. He's gonna check the study. Still no one. He's gonna see if she's in the bathroom maybe. Still calling out her name, but so far there's no one here. He's gonna run down to the library. And there's no one in here either. You can still somewhat see her sitting here next to him reading as she did earlier today, and is getting another wave of regret and nausea rushing through him. He's gonna look through the bookshelf to identify the book that allowed him to travel through the hatch here. And he successfully entered the hidden room behind the bookshelf here. So he's gonna continue downstairs into the basement and take a look here. And again, another wave of regret is hitting him as he takes a look at the pillows and stuffed teddies down here, remembering how she sat watching him brew and study earlier. And he is sort of scratching his head, like, where else could she be? Is there another house that she could be at maybe? Maybe she wasn't here after all. He readies himself for flying on his broom and scanning the forest if that's what it takes. But as he's preparing to walk up the stairs again, he hears a hiccuping sound and a noise behind him. And Audrey appears in the corner of the room, slowly turning visible as she hears him calling out to her and realizes that it's Krudius who's here. And hearing the sob behind him, Krudius turns around, sees Audrey and hurries up to her. And she's gonna rush up to him and throw herself into his arms. Krudius might have been scared that she would hate him after this, that she would curse him or not want to be close to him, but no. Contrary to his fears, she is clinging to him with everything that she's got, and he finds himself similarly holding on to her as much as he can. And he's telling her that how sorry he is for leaving, for not coming back, and that he swears that he won't do it again. He's gonna stick by her, he's gonna protect her and keep her safe, and he's not gonna leave again. And Audrey isn't really saying much, she's just crying at this point. She's exhausted, terrified, and relieved to see Krudius again, and there's not really much she can say at this point, so she's gonna break down and have a cry. Big tears are coming, and it's in part, from the exhaustion, from being so terrified, but also relief. So Krudius is gonna lean in, console her, try to have her calm down, and encourages her to, let's go upstairs, let's go to bed and sleep through the night, and hopefully things will look better in the morning. As long as we're together, things will get resolved. And Audrey calms down. Again, she's not saying much, but she's listening to Krudius. And they're gonna head upstairs together. This is also the point when Roger finally arrives to the house. So he's gonna hurry inside and he's gonna call out to Krudius and ask where he is. And Krudius and Audrey have made it upstairs here, and they are meeting up with Roger. And of course, Roger is gonna question Krudius, as as soon as he sees him, like, what happened? Thank God that you found her. And they're having a little chat, but Krudius is quick to say that, it's been a long day and we really need to head to bed at this point. Seems like this day will never end. And, Audrey is exhausted, and I guess we both are as well. So they all agree that they're heading to bed, and Krudius is gonna, of course, head into the master bedroom as normal, and Roger is following. But of course, little Audrey is also following, and before Roger can manage to grab the other side of the bed, Audrey is actually taking the spot instead of him and curling up next to Krudius. So Roger is actually going to be forced to take the child bedroom here and sleep among the teddy bears. But he's gladly doing that. As long as he has a warm bed, that's good enough for him. And little Audrey is curling up here next to Krudius and feeling safe again. And this is where we'll leave them for this time. So let's allow them to sleep through the night, and let's catch up with them tomorrow.